Okay, today we're going to learn how to configure DHCP on a router. Use it to hand an IP address to your clients, your host on your network. That'll be in your laptops or workstations or what have you. And this is normally for a smaller setup. If you have a larger or enterprise setup, you would probably set up a Microsoft DHCP server or DHCP server of your type, your preference. You set up DHCP and you would actually have it hand out IP addresses. This is for a smaller shop where you don't have a lot of resources. This is done based upon best business practices, your company's security requirements, or per the information assurance, or per guidance from your head shed. You always want to get their buy-in when you're setting up anything anyway. So with that, let's get into it. I'm going to use PuTTY terminal emulation software. Okay, going to go to enable mode and go to configuration mode. The first thing you have to do is set up the actual interface. That's going to be your gateway. So I'm going to give an IP address. And you want this to be from the range that's going to be from your range that you're going to hand out as far as your DHCP pool. And put the subnet mask. And of course, you want to make this available, so no shut. Okay. From there, we will okay. Told me the fast Ethernet up is connected. From there, we will exit out a little bit, and now we will set up the DHCP pool. By using the IP DHCP command, and we're going to say pool, and you have to give it a name. So I'm going to call it client pool. You can name whatever you want, or per your organization's guidance. So I'm going to say client pool. And we're going to hit enter. Just to give you another idea of things you configured. Just going to do the question mark so you can see. Oops. I'm too far in. When I back out, I'll show you. So from here, I will do the network. And from network, I will put in 192.168.1.0. You can hit enter, or it'll put the mask in. Depending on what version of software you were, some of them will actually go back and come up with the mask command. If I don't put anything, it should do something, but I'm going to put it in just in case, because I like to be thorough. Okay, next we're going to configure is a default router. And that should be the first IP address you issue out. Yes, default route. Like if you're doing this at home, oops, hit that again. I don't want to do that. If you're doing this at home, this is pretty much a basic setup. So the next thing you want to set up your DNS server. DNS server, sorry. There you go. You can make it the router itself, or you can point it to like some of the big .coms, Google, or some of them, but like 4.2.2, like 4.2.3, I think it's 1888888, those different DNS servers, and you can point them to them. So here I'm just gonna put this again just to make it a standard configuration. So that's the DNS server. The next thing you'll want to configure is the lease time. So you just type lease, and you can put any number of days. Right now I'm just going to put in 4 days and say 12 hours, or you can say 23 hours, up to you. I'm going to say 12 hours, and then you're going to say minutes. Let's just say 23 minutes, that'll work. And that's the lease time. Okay. After that, we will exit out. And we will actually do a couple more commands to do IP DHCP. And like I said, I will just do question marks. So you can see all the different things you can configure. You can figure AAA in here, your bindings. If you want to do a static map to a specific IP address, or class, or compatibility, conflict, database, excluded addresses. We're going to do excluded addresses, and we're at a couple more items. So with that, we're going to do IP DHCP exclude. And you put in the portion that you want to exclude. You have to determine that based upon your best business practices, what your company desires. You go with the low number first, which being the lowest number of the IP you want to reserve or exclude to be handed out as far as the DHCP pool. So I'm going to use 1 because that's the router. And then the high number will be, I'll just say 10. Like I said, you have to base this upon the number of items you're going to have excluded, because like say you want to exclude a range for your printers. If you have scanners, you want to exclude those ranges. If you have phones, you want to exclude that. Anything that will need an IP address that has to have a permanent IP address, and you don't want changing. I.e., printers, you don't want the IP changing every day, and then you have to go out and reconfigure somebody's printer. That's going to cost you overhead. So you got to be careful when you do that. So those are excluded addresses. Next, we're going to enable a service. Just tab service and then hit service, and then we're going to type in DHCP. Okay, that enables the service. And what we're going to do is type in and get out of this. You do your right memory from here. All right, from the right mem. Now we're going to plug in our laptop here. And we're going to plug into a port on the switch. We have a switch already connected. It has the basic configuration standard when you get it. It has nothing in it right now. So you don't have to set up any type of extra stuff. Now, one other thing to remember, that if you need to hand DHCP across another router or something, you have to set up relay agent and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to wait for the port to come up, which is probably going to take about 40 seconds because I don't have port fast enabled. So let's give it a couple seconds here. While we're talking about that now, like I said, when you set up your DHCP, you want to keep in mind and try to go through it and see what all the requirements will be, because you want to make sure you minimize your overhead of having to maintain it, because you have to go in and reconfigure printers for everybody. That's a lot of help desk calls that are unneeded. Okay, now we're waiting for it to come up. And once my port comes up, we'll verify that it's working. Here's where I went through configuration. Okay, let's try this. The command you do to verify is show IP DHCP. It was a question mark. You can see all the things. You see, I'm going to check bindings, because that's what I want to see. If an address was bound from my NIC card in my laptop to an IP that's in the pool, and it should have my MAC address. So let's do binding. And it doesn't show it right now. Maybe it's still connecting. Let's give it a second here. Okay, let's see if it shows up. Okay, now the MAC address is shown up in the table. I guess it took a little bit to show, and to double verify, we will go into the Windows portion of this. We will click on network area. We're going to details, and there we are. You see the IP address that's been handed. And the lease expires on the 26th at 7:29 a.m. So there you have it. So that's how you verify that your DHCP is working and it's fully functional. Like I said, you would do this in a small setup, and this will be utilized mostly just to hand out clients to your host that don't need a permanent IP address, and this is how you would set it up. Thanks for watching, as always. Thank you.